So moving ahead with our next panel, which is corporate jugalbandi at boardroom, and we are skipping the high tea this time because we are running out of time. I would like to call upon stage Mr. Shelly Vishwajit, who is also our coffee table book editor. So please be on the dais. Group Captain Anup Kumar Chobrul, the Managing Director of Transcat Medical Devices. So please come on the dais. Dr. VK Prasad, Managing Director, Projoins Laboratory Private Limited. Please come on the dais, sir. Mr. Vishal Khanna, Director, Hydilco Medico Private Limited. So please come on the dais. Dr. Mukut Kamath, the board member of Nutrify India Academy. And the last panelist for this session is Mr. Jitendra Francis, who is the founder and CEO of Chainworks Digital Private Limited. Over to you, Shelly, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Shelly Vishwajit, moderator for this session. I'm an author and a journalist and also a legal consultant. I'm very privileged to introduce our panelists, very esteemed panelists. I'll give a very brief discussion and I request them to introduce, telling us few key points, key achievements about themselves, their organizations. And then we will have some question and answers. And maybe if we have time, we will take up questions from the audience. So let me introduce first of all, to my right, Group Captain Anup Kumar Chobrul. He is Director of Transcat Medical Devices Private Limited. Welcome, sir. Then on my left is Dr. S.V. Prasad, Managing Director, Progenics Laboratories Private Limited, Hyderabad, right? Then, sir, on my extreme right is Mr. Vishal Khanna, Director, Hydilco Medico Private Limited. Welcome, sir, to the stage. And then, of course, we have Dr. Mukund Kamath, Board Member, Nutrify Today Academy. Welcome, sir. For some reason, the panelist on the left has not been able to. So, sir, coming to Group Captain Anup Chobrul. Sir, kindly give us a brief about your work, about your past, and especially focusing on how, from being an Indian Air officer, Air Force officers, you decided to take the plunge into the entrepreneurial world. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, can you hear me? Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity to share my views here. I'm an ex-Indian Air Force helicopter pilot, served for 27 years. Just had an opportunity to meet another armed forces person who there. Served for National Defense Academy, moved on to commissioning, then served 27 years, took a voluntary in 2016 and set up a medical device manufacturing unit. We have indigenized the complete range of central lines and hemodialysis catheters, right from neonatal to complete cardiac level. All catheters we have indigenized. First time in the country, and you'll be surprised to know that all this, we have got 10% import dependency on these catheters in India. 10%. 80% is from China and 20% is from European and American markets. Chinese dependence, out of the 80%, 70 to 75% is from one company. So how we came about to this this side is that we used to do a lot of analysis on military prowess of China. I have retired from here, Subrata Park. We used to do a lot of war gaming and all. We used to analyze what is the military capability of China, how do we sustain a war. Along with that, we used to analyze all the industrial capability and various other capabilities which can actually squeeze us in case of a war. Industrial capability and especially what imports we are dependent on. So that's to our shock. We realized that more than the military capability, China can incapacitate us within a very short period of time if they can just squeeze the imports. Your APIs, complete dependence. Medical devices, mostly completely dependence. So I personally wanted to do something different. All my colleagues are flying in civil airlines and civil helicopters. So we just checked out a product which was not too run-of-the-mill and not too complex, because at that stage I didn't have any exposure at all. So these catheters was one particular product which we found we had 10% dependence, and not a single Indian company was actually manufacturing them. The entire Indian market companies were just importing, packaging and selling it. So this is where we just we jumped in, and as good armed forces guy, once you jump into the river, there's only one way you get out, the other side.
Wonderful. Wonderful, sir, wonderful. Somebody from the medical healthcare sector may not have noticed that niche segment, but you noticed it. Good. Great. Sir, coming to Mr. Khanna, sir, you also please give us a brief introduction about your work yourself. And again, what gave your company, the confidence to enter a market which is still very much dominated by imports?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, good evening everybody, and thank you Maniji for giving me the opportunity to be on the dais with so distinguished panel. So I am an engineer by training and electronics one at that. So when I think I was the recipient of the beneficiaries, or rather I'll the beneficiary of the reforms. So middle of the 90s, I was in the multinational companies. I served in Datex Omeda, which went on to become Wipro, and then ISAB India, which is a Swedish multinational company. Then Draeger. I spent 2 decades in Draeger and leading from customer support engineers to a leadership position. So COVID changed a lot of things. So COVID changed a lot of mindsets also. So and because we were also having time, otherwise we were so much busy, and multinational companies keep the employees very busy, so they don't have to think. They should not think, and they give them the good incentives also not to think. But that gave us the thing, and there was a few turning points, personal turning points, that we were associated, because Draeger used to be, or the companies which are top in ventilation, top ventilator companies not giving a single unit to India, and despite government giving them the pressures, because the price point of Indian customer rates and the European ones or American ones are different. So that gave me the realization that we have too much dependence on this, and there was no idea, because when I was there, I was in a very responsible position, so people directly used to call me up, and they will weep and cry for the ventilators and other things. So that moved me, and I think that was one pivotal point for me then to realize that we should be doing something for our country. So that was one emotional moment for me, but I decided, okay, let this thing get over, but I'll do something about it. So, and that was the reason why I got the change, number one. And number two, we were also, because we were in the sales and marketing and business development domain, we were seeing that the companies, European companies mostly, are working, in a very high-end market and having very big margins. And I was since part of the leadership team, so I got to know what are the global gross profits and other things, what are the legacy profits, what are the R&D profits, and all those on top. So the end user device should be more than the affordability of a common Indian hospital, and that was pushing the company into the niches. So we were only catering to say 5 to 7% of the market. So there we saw, because everybody was liking the product, They said that they aspire for those kind of products, but they could not afford it. So that was one idea where we took that the larger market is still unaddressed. So we should be doing something about it. So that was also my reason to change. And we saw an opportunity also that yes, if I am able to provide that kind of technical competence with the products, giving the right, adaptability to the users also, the training part and the user experience, then I think that is a opportunity for me to do this pivot. So that's about it.
Wonderful, sir, wonderful. As you know, the healthcare sector has many verticals, right from pharmaceuticals to hospital chains to medtech, medical devices and all. And India's journey to the global market began with the pharma sector. Now we have world-class hospitals, and I'm very sure the kind of entrepreneurial spirit I'm seeing in medical devices, we are going to emerge global leader in that sector also. And you never know, tomorrow with a lot of merger, acquisition, technological things, we may see 50,000 crore, 1 lakh crore market capitalization medical devices companies in our lifetime, very soon. Okay, so before I come to Dr. S.V. Kamath, who is in a very interesting field of genomics, I will, Mr. S.V. Prasad, I will like to ask Dr. Mukund Kamath. Of course, Dr. Kamath is in a very, very interesting vertical, which I would like that you yourself tell us the story of your journey and your Nutrify Today mission. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so first of all, wish you all a very good evening, and thank you, Manish ji and PhD CCI for this opportunity. Well, I've spent about 23 years predominantly in verticals that have not been spoken of since morning: FMCG, OTC, and pharma. I know a lot of medtech companies have been spoken about, so I think I bring the diversity here in the room from that perspective. I have been leading businesses for companies like Colgate, Pfizer, and Torrent Pharma, and in countries like India and Middle East. So VUCA as a concept, especially for those of us who have worked in Middle East markets, it's something that you wake up to every day. Geopolitically, economically, and growing in those markets needs a lot of different skill sets, especially when you're looking at thriving from a growth perspective. So that's one part of the hat that I'm wearing. The other is also I serve as a board member on the Nutrify Today Academy. The Nutra industry in India is well paced to reach $100 billion by 2030. While it is driving strong double-digit growth, there are certain capabilities that we need to build in leadership of this industry as we move forward. That's what this academy is looking at driving. We are privileged to be in a position where we have partners like IIT Jammu and some of the best minds which are working on curriculums suited to the industry, both in terms of leadership as well as in Nutra, science, regulatory policy, along with a lot of support from the Government of India, which is helping this particular, really nurture the ecosystem that is helping the nurturing of these minds into tomorrow's leaders. So that's in a nutshell about what I do and what Nutrify Academy is all about.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kamath. I will come back to you again on this. So, on my left is Dr. V.S. Prasad. Sorry, let me come back again. So, on my left is Dr. S.V. Prasad. Sir, kindly give us your brief profile introduction, and especially please focus on how genomics, which is a very niche field, is changing the very landscape of the healthcare. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Shelley ji. And I would sincerely thank Mr. Manish ji always, even I little bit push back, but he always he push forward.
Manish is the real star of today's proceedings.
So thank you very much. So myself, Dr. S.V. Prasad, I'm the founder of Progenics Laboratories Private Limited that caters genomics services.
Are you able to hear?
Yeah, please speak louder.
Or, sir.
Achha.
Hello? I think
Hello.
you have to speak.
Yeah. So this genomics company caters to most of the genomic services. Before that, I have to give a brief introduction. Like I have been associated with health medical field since before COVID. That is where I met Mr. Manish, where we were working together in AMTZ. So we know the stories before and after COVID also, right? So by the time I already started a company called Prolog Biologicals that caters probiotics for the health segment and the environmental livestock management segment. And later we have started Actachem Biotech Private Limited, that is for nutraceuticals. Now, if I have to connect the dots to give the precision medicine services to the public, I may have to include genomic services. That is how we have started genomic services. That is what Progenics Laboratories Private Limited. So, as we know, like many people doesn't know since 2020 what is PCR, RT-PCR. Many people doesn't know. But this word has been used in the internet search during 2022-23. That increase of that usage has increased like 5,000 times, 5,000% is incremental. So it means that people started knowing about genomics little bit at least by the name of RT-PCR. Now, before COVID, we thought of simply starting a RT-PCR based or PCR based diagnostic services. But the COVID compelled the people to understand more about the genomics, just not only the diagnostics, but it has also compelled the people to know more about the health consciousness. So as we also know, like both the pandemic phases, after the pandemic phases, many people have seen cardiac issues, like particularly above 40 years age people. There is a huge surge in the cardiac issues. So that also compelled the people to become more conscious about the health issues, the personalized health issues. Like what might be happening in my body? They don't know what to do. They have gotten all sorts of tests, but everybody is saying that your parameters are vitals and everything is very clear. But still he must be having some suspicion in body, like in his mind. So that is where we have expanded our thought, like not only just genomics by normal whole exome sequencing, but also we are thought of like there is a necessity for wellness genomics, preventive genomics. So that is where we have to find out the whole genome based problems if there are anything. And that based on that we want to give like personalized diet charts, personalized even fitness exercises, like even pharmacogenomics point of view also, very precise drugs that can be used to counter any regular anomalies that they are having. So that is how we have started this genomics work. So when compared to other players in the market, so how we are peculiar and different is, like as I told, we already have an experience in probiotics and nutraceuticals. Now, in the sense of like personalized medicine and precision medicine, we completely map their problems, the individual's problems, including gut health. Then we prepare a nutraceuticals like nutrient diet chart and nutrient supplements. So that is giving wonderful effects. That is how we are entering and we are making some change in the market.
Okay, thank you very much. Just would like to ask a supplementary question. In a country where people are still reluctant or do not have the resources to go for the basic medical, preventive medical checkups, how do you see the future of genomics, preventive genomics in healthcare? Will it become a tool for better healthcare for the elites only, or can it be used for the common people, common masses also? Please give a brief answer.
Well, as I told, the search of the searching RT-PCR method in the Google itself is increased 5,000 times after COVID. it means it has brought the people to a level where they have to understand the genomics, one thing. And the second thing is, as I told, the cardiac issues when the people are facing, they are, even though they are not affordable, but that threat is there in their mind. They want to see, like, what is happening in my life, somehow we got rid of pandemic, we are happy, but now further how to sustain ourselves. So this is the thought in their mind. So forget about the financials, but they understand the need for the very precise and personalized medicine testings, first of all. And then, we are being Ayurveda, practicing Ayurveda since long. And we know, there are so many supplements, we are not properly exploiting. India is also trying to exploit a lot of Ayurveda concepts to bring into the market of the 100 billion concept of market. So we are just connecting the dots, what is the person's problem, what is the genetic problem, and what is its Ayurvedic, that tattvam, vata, kapha, pitta. Based on that, we are suggesting this diet charts. So having given this kind of suggestions, having seen this kind of samples coming to our company, since last 2 days, we have seen, month on month, we are seeing more than 200 to 300% of change, and the incremental of the sample coming into lab.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, coming back to Group Captain Anup Chevrol, sir. This session is against the background of the coffee table book, that is Jugalbandi at the corporate boardroom, and Mr. Shukla, the publisher of 9 bomb, sounds like atom bomb. But anyway, so it's not only about healthcare solutions, but also how we manage them. It's also about the management. And sir, as you know, today's management is very different from a management that was a decade back or 2 decades backs, and with a boardroom filled with a lot of talents from diverse background. I mean, who could have imagined, say 2 decades back, an officer, decorated officer from Indian Air Force leading a medtech companies, somebody trying to bring together the various platform to provide better nutri-care. Right, sir? So, genomics, in healthcare, a very niche field. Mr. Khanna, he has been a pioneer. So, sir, so coming to boardroom challenges, let me ask, how does your defense background help tackle a civilian or a management kind of boardroom, and especially in the healthcare sector? Has it been a blessing, or did you have to go through a totally different mindset when you took up on the latest venture that you started?
I think wherever you go, first and foremost, when you are in the armed forces, like Colonel Pamar just now told us, it's always a VUCA situation. So there is nothing different that we are facing everywhere. Armed forces trains for war. War is the highest VUCA you can ever face. That's the top notch. So you are always training for VUCA. You transition, it's a similar situation. The biggest advantage in a manufacturing setup is when you transition from a military background is that you learn to make leaders out of men. That is what is the core thing which I could get out of the armed forces into the manufacturing system. Right now my entire team is very young, around 25 to 26 years old, just out of ITIs and all. So we could pick them up because new medical device setup, there is no expertise, no one will give you expertise. All the people who are engineers and all are settled somewhere. We couldn't afford a big package. We got in small ITI trained, CPET trained technical people, got them together, empowered them. made them responsible, and then gave them the authority to experiment, and we guided them. And then that is where the transition started happening slowly. Once you started believing that you can achieve the product, the transition happened. Now we are actually we are producing European and American class catheters, that quality, and we are putting it into the market at a less than the cost of the Chinese manufacturing cost. Wow. That is what we have achieved here.
Even less than the Chinese?
Yeah, less than the Chinese.
That's wonderful.
We have, the imports which are happening, I'm not talking about landing cost. If you go out to China, buy the catheter from China, we are putting it at selling price here, and still managing to make some money. So the advantage is getting the people together. Most of the manufacturing ecosystem exists in India. I spent 3 years of my time after I got out in 2016. 3 years I spent 24/7 going to all nooks and corners of Hyderabad, sitting with the mold makers, sitting with the technicians, understanding the product. So I didn't know anything about it. But I found wonderful talent everywhere, like small examples of getting small dies made. A small die, first die we ordered from a US company for around $1,500. Then we spent a lot of time with the local die makers, and now we make the same die for 10,000 rupees in India. Is that there's no difference?
Wonderful.
So we cut the cost, we squeeze the cost. Most of it, like I think Dr. Gupta was telling us, there's not much innovation in India. We are just copying whatever is there and trying to squeeze the cost in such a way that we can get a good product out into the market for the Indian consumer. We could achieve that. That's what mattered.
Mr. Khanna, do you think over the last 4, 5 years, 10 years, the confidence of end users or say your large buyers, it could be hospital chains or government agencies, has their confidence in Indian products, Indian medical devices, has it increased, or still there is this feeling that Chinese or Vietnamese or maybe US equipments could be better? And in reality, is it more psychological, or actually we need to catch up in certain fields?
So I can give you this example. When I was very little, we used to, because I belong to Lucknow, so we used to go to Nepal and bring imported products from Nepal. So that is the the romanticism or the charm of imported thing in India. And I think there are some legacy and some like you suggested, this is all psychological. And there were two things which were very peculiar. When the market was opened in the 1990s, all the big multinational companies came, and they came up with all their products, the state of the art, because they were there in the field for more than 100 years, and so innovation-based products and everything. Because of the advent of those kind of technology, India also got benefited with that. And in India, we were also seeing few of the things, manufacturers coming up in Chennai or Bangalore, in Delhi and other places, even in Kolkata, in Mumbai. And there was a nascent market of Indian manufacturers back there in 1990s, which I can say that after the 1999 Kargil war, then there was huge influx of Chinese products, medical devices at that, because India was making one particular device for 100 rupees. China, then they flushed the market with the 50 rupees same device. So they eventually killed the market in the early 2000s, and we, I think, were left without any, medical device manufacturer of big. There are certain few, like BPL and other companies were there. So there was this, very thought, they had strategized and they killed the market by flushing the products. So that was also there, so that we also saw or observed. So doctors were, pampered first by the multinational companies, and yes, being the life-saving equipment, because we are also, and I was in the critical care field only, so more than 27 years now, I'm blessed to be in the critical care field and anesthesia, LEG and point of care, which is called acute point of care. So there is this element of life-saving equipment, and we were told as a sales strategy from the multinational companies that go and tell the doctor if the patient dies, you are responsible. So we, not very bluntly, but very sophisticatedly, we used to tell that. So that somehow, entered into the minds of the doctors, and they were also going to on the junkets to Disneylands of the world and other places also. So there was the corporate part also involved in that. So there we were seeing these, and our all medical colleges and things, they were flush with the imported products. So there was this, preference for, and I can tell you now, since we are manufacturing Indian products and in Class C medical devices, life-saving one, doctor asked us ki if your relative is put on this thing, your product, will you be comfortable? So that is the, the training and the mindset that has gone into.
That's very heartening. That's very positive news. Thank you, sir. Dr. Kamath, you have had a wonderful journey with plenty of accolades all along your cross-country, cross-industry professional journey. So, what are 2-3 key things that healthcare industry can learn from other industry verticals? Something you must have noticed that, okay, there is this gap, or there is these kind of things that healthcare sector must implement or adopt. Thank you.
So, there are quite a few, but like you said, top 3. So I'll narrow it down to 3. I think the first one has been spoken about since the morning panels as well, agility. If I take pharma as an industry, and in this industry from regulation to market, the timeline is 18 months. And this is if you're lucky, right? If there's no other obstacles in place. Today, AI is helping, innovation is helping to cut this timeline down to 9 months, 6 months. So one is, there is a need to be more agile. At the same time, there is a need to be bold. Risk-taking is not something that is inherent in this vertical, because it's predominantly conservative in nature. Because what has worked for the last 50 years is not going to work for the pharma industry for the next 50 years. And you see this happening a lot, where more and more companies are going OTC and shifts are happening. It's a world where urban citizens, urban consumers are actually having different aspirations and different needs versus rural, right? Gen Zs are looking at consulting through digital first rather than in person. So there are many differences, from that perspective, and hence there's a need to be bold. One of the things that pharma can learn from FMCG is to really test, launch and refine, do more pilots. The third part is the last C. So if you, the most important one for me is consumer centricity. And I'm calling it consumer centricity, but in the space of healthcare, it can be patient, it can be care provider, it can also be in general public, consumers. Because listening to people is very, very important, because people's needs are changing constantly. I'll give an example of tech. In my generation of millennials, having a high megapixel camera was good enough. In today's Gen Z, a high megapixel along with AI to correct images is what they are looking for, right? So similarly on health, I mentioned a few examples of digital first consultations and so on and so forth. So health monitoring is getting remote. You see a lot of apps coming out with health monitoring systems which are remote and face scans and so on. And that's again a changing need. So to summarize, the ABC, as I would like to call it, agility, be bold, and consumer first approach.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That was very, very insightful. Coming back to Dr. S.V. Prasad. Sir, about the genomics you talked about in the beginning, so I'll skip that for the paucity of time. You have also co-authored a comprehensive MVT tasks report commissioned by Vivekanand International Foundation, a very highly respected think tank, very close to the current establishment. So how potential is MVT for genomics, and how do you plan to approach this potential business vertical? MVT, I'm sure this refers to medical tourism, right? Medical value tourism.
Yeah. Because of the Indians' nature of, very good communication through English and a very good infrastructure in the genomics point of view, and also good hospitality that what we are already catering in different healthcare segments. Because of these issues, we can cater very well into the, MVT. And also, I can say that, the Indian healthcare segment is very much seasoned because we have, I think, more than 4,000 caste and subcaste ethnic groups forming a peculiar monogamous genetic structure because of centuries of reproductive isolation. So, catering to all such kind of people with our existing healthcare system, we are already matured enough to handle any kind of people across the globe because we have handled already very huge diversity of people. I don't think no other country in the world is having such a diverse ethnic groups. So in that sense, we are already seasoned very well. And adding value through genomics is because we have got already adopted a lot of technologies which are available across the globe. And we are just now entering into not only just rare disease diagnostics, we are also entering into the preventive genomics and gut health and, precision medicine and personalized medicine and supplement subscriptions. We are already doing it. I think this is the best place compared to any other place in the world to give a better value for the MVT.
Okay, thank you very much. We have 2-3 minutes left. I will request panelists if anybody wants to add anything, or the audience if you want to ask any questions. We can take 1 or 2 maybe.
Yeah, I will add something.
Yes, sir, please.
So coming back to the, now the preference to the Make in India devices. So since there is a strong push by the government of India and Prime Minister's Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat, so there are a lot of incentives right now are provided to the Indian manufacturers, and we are thankful to the government. And right now the government is also making sure that in tenders there is some preference to Make in India products. So that is good getting there. And we were having this quality discussion on the BIS and European C certification. So there is now is equivalent in most of the government quarters that BIS certifications or BIS standards should be the first, and in the absence of the BIS certifications or the standards, the European C or US FDA should be applicable. So these, I think, are long-term, government policies which are going to benefit the Indian manufacturers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I think that's a very critical aspect that you have touched upon. 1 month, 1 year, the government taking 1 step forward, then they take 2 steps backward. I made other organizations, they have gone frustrated totally. Some new ministers come, they have some idea. Some new health secretary come, I don't know whether I should go on and on. But, at least give the industry a clear path, whatever path you want to give, for at least 3 to 5 years, so that they know they will be working within that parameters. So that will take medtech industry, healthcare sector. Thank you very much, panelists. Thank you very much, audience, for your patience hearing. Thank you very much, sir. Everyone.
Thank you so much, our esteemed panelists. I would ask you we will have to take a picture. I would like to call Mr. Manish Rastogi sir and Ashwini sir for felicitating our esteemed panelist, Mr. Shelly Vishwajit. Manish sir, Mr. Shelly Vishwajit. Group Captain Anup Kumar. Dr. S.V. Prasad. Mr. Vishal Khanna. Mr. Mukud Kamath. I would like to thank all our esteemed panelists